so basically, I was invited to a little soiree tonight, courtesy of the brand Typology, which is kind of cool. They've never done anything in the winter, and it's at this venue where I went to a fashion show at recently, so that will be cool. But let me show you. This is what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my sparkly Balmain dress. I just finished buttoning it up. I have on underneath a slip, like a lace slip. It's from the US brand Else Lingerie. I really like that brand. I really like their lingerie. I think it's quite nice. And I like the fact that it's a little lacy slip underneath. So, because this is very open, and I just like having that extra coverage. My hair, well, my hair is like my greatest accomplishment. So I washed my hair, but I didn't want to flat iron it, because if I flat iron it, then I'm not going to work out. The girls who don't know. So as a result, I just blow dried it, and then I went through it with this, like this brush. Essentially, it's like something I got from Amika. It's a heat brush, and so it gives it a little bit of straightening, but without actual straightening. So, and I put my hair up. I tied it into this ponytail. Hold on. Can you see the bows? Can you all see? Can you see anything? Do I need to turn my head more? Can you see? I can't see behind me, so you have to tell me. But I put these bows in it, so that gives the hair some fun. And then we have the dress. For the bag, I'm doing my silver Gucci bag. And then what we need to do is decide on shoes. So let's talk shoes. Two choices. We could do... Sorry. Okay, so we could do like these little boots that I have. I know I have silver heels. They are from Cezanne. They are horribly uncomfortable, and so I just don't feel like wearing them. So we could do this, because these are much more like walkable, and it gives it like a vibe, right? Okay, let's look. I mean, this is a vibe, but then I feel like I got to get rid of the lace underneath. Like, this is definitely a space cowgirl vibe. Alternatively, instead of... Oh, wait a second. I think this has another button up here. Does it? No. No, it's just open. It's just open. Alternatively... The second option are... Oh no, there's something sticky on my shoes. The second option are these Louboutins. So, what do we think? They're two completely different looks, right? They're two completely different looks. Are we doing... This is Louboutin Adrielle. Sexy Mama. Or Space Cowgirl Adrielle. Okay, Space Cowgirl. What do we think? Oh, Space Cowgirl is a look. It's definitely a look, but it might be too much. Like, it may be too many things with the bows and everything all together. Space cow, like, it just, this may be too much. I think it's too much. Oh, but Space Cowgirl, there will be a time and a day and a place for Space Cowgirl. Okay, so no Space Cowgirl. Let's take whatever is sticky off the bottom of my shoe. I think if I keep Space Cowgirl, I can keep the lace, and I want to keep the lace. So if I omit Space Cowgirl, and then it's just Sexy Adrielle. Sexy Adriel. Sexy Adriel. Sexy Adriel. Alright. I'm being way too silly. I don't know why I'm in such a good mood, but I am. Maybe I just feel like I look good. And maybe sometimes it's been a while since I've like really felt good about myself, and so I feel like I look good. I feel like I can conquer the world. I feel like something great is going to happen tonight. You guys, something great is going to happen. There we go. I feel good about myself. I've been, I gained some weight last year, and then I managed to finally start losing it, and then I kind of dealt with all of the tendinitis and the knee, and so I couldn't really work out, and so then I didn't put the weight back on, but I put on some weight, and so that I wasn't feeling good about myself, but now I'm finally able to get back to working out consistently, and I can see the difference and that I'm feeling stronger and healthier, and it's just nice, and I feel like I look good in this dress, and I haven't felt like I looked good in party clothes for a while because I gained so much weight that they weren't super comfortable to wear. But now I'm losing it, and I'm slimming down, and I feel sexy, and I feel good. And that's all we can hope for in this life, my loves, right? So anyway, this outfit. Take a moment to respond to some of the statements I've seen people leaving in the comments and whatnot, and also give you answer some questions that I've seen. So first and foremost, I know that a lot of people really resonated with kind of what I talked about at the beginning of the last video about just the frustrations of this economy and what's happening in the US and everything. And you know what, I talked about how I just have to lean into, it may sound vain, but I'm just leaning into the fashion because it just makes me feel better. And I do think that, I think we spend a lot of time caring what other people think of us, and sometimes we just need to care less. We need to just do what's going to make us feel better. And I remember, when I would be sitting at that law firm late at night, and when I say late at night, I mean 2 a.m, depressed and miserable. There were nights where I was just you know what, I am buying a pair of Christian Louboutin heels because this is going to make me happy in this moment, right? Fashion makes me happy, and so what if anybody thinks anything of it? So I'm glad that really resonated with a lot of you all, and I'm sorry that so many of you are going through stuff, that's really hard right now, and I just want to, know I'm sorry. It's, life isn't fair, but what I will say this is that I am really actively fighting for my hope, because I truly have to believe that where I am today is not where I will always be. And I can already see that, looking back at my life, looking back to those days when I was sitting in that law firm or when I was at that company and I was just miserable and so unhappy. I dreamed of the living in Paris. And I'm here, and I'm here now. And is this a difficult year? Heck yeah, this has been a difficult year. I mean, imagine, your consulting business is failing while at the same time you're trying to start another business. And that one is, you're trapped in administration, right? That is not fun. But I have to believe and hope that where I am today is not where I will always be. And I'm going to trust in that. And I have a friend who is a pastor in DC of a historically Black church, and he's been like delivering this sermon series, and it's just been really good for me. It's been like really like feeding me. And you know, if you want to know what it is, I'm happy to tell you in the comments. Sorry, I gotta get a blanket. My feet are cold. So yeah, but that has also been kind of, I started listening to that, and that's kind of been giving me some energy as well. Additionally, I wanted to just say, kind of also based on some things I said in the comments, you know, thank you so much for the prayers and the well wishes about, you know, being nearly robbed. Like, I will be totally frank in saying that at least now I'm not afraid to go outside anymore, but I am now still, I'm noticing that I'm very vigilant, right? Like, I noticed that, you know, I was walking down the street, you know, like normal last night, like I always do, and all of a sudden I heard a motorbike, and I just, like, my body reacted. I was like, shh, you know, like, how do I get away? And I saw a guy on a bicycle in front of, what is the Prime Minister's residence? Like, I was going to Musée Rodin, and he had his arm out because he was signaling he was going to be making a right turn for the cars. But, like, as I saw as he went by me, his arm was out, and I instantly thought, like, oh my gosh, you know, so, I would like to say that I'm, like, 100%, but I am now very much, like, whew, at times, which was, like, I was already a little like that. I don't need it. Funny story. Super funny story for you. I was going to, our small group Bible study had decided to have like a Christmas dinner. I want to note, I asked these people in October if we were going to do a holiday party, and they were like, no, we don't really think so, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, because my schedule is filling up for December. All right. I don't know who I am, but all of a sudden I am ridiculously popular this year. So I've been like so many places. And they all of a sudden, of course, last like 2 weeks ago, were like, let's organize a holiday party. I'm like, dagnabbit, people. So I was going to the holiday party, and I made macaroni and cheese. I'm the only American in the group. No, I'm one of two Americans. So I'm the only Black American. So, like, no one other than the other American woman had ever had macaroni and cheese. And so they were just like, yes, Adriel, like, bring the mac and cheese. And I was like, don't you worry, I will. So, I was bringing macaroni and cheese, and I had it in this, like, in this bag, and I'm carrying it on the metro like this. And I had on my big, poofy winter coat, because it was cold. And it's the big one with, like, the fur around my face, if you've seen it in a video. And I'm getting on the metro, and the thing about the Paris metro that just drives me crazy is that there will be places to sit, but rather than people sitting in them or kind of moving backwards, people will just crowd towards the front of the door, and then they won't move when you open the door. So you're just kind of like fighting your way like into the metro. And especially because I have on my little black coat, my big black coat, I'm like Marshmallow Man, right? So it's like, and I have this stuff, so I'm like navigating. I see this empty seat. I go to sit down. So the way the empty seat is, imagine like this, me, Adriel, where I'm standing right now, is empty seat. And then there's somebody in the seat over here, like to my left, okay? So there's someone in the left. So I kind of have to almost back into the seat because people aren't really moving. So I think I'm sitting down, and of course, puffy coat, I think I'm sitting down in the seat, but I kind of partially, like, my whole coat and everything like slides against this other person. And when I recognize it, like as I'm kind of like going down, I'm like, oh, you know, so sorry, like désolé. So, train doors close, train takes off, everything. I'm sitting there holding my food, right? So the girl sitting next to me moves over like this, goes into her purse, pulls out a spray of hand sanitizer, and in this hand goes, all down the right side of her body where my coat touched. Now my coat wasn't wet or anything like that, but like she goes all the way down to her feet, looks at me, puts it in her bag, and goes back to staying straight forward. I then go like this, and I burst out laughing because how could I not laugh? And when I told this story, when I got to like the group, people were like, I would have been so offended. I was like, it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. Like, how does the girl, she had a full spray of hand sanitizer, right? Like you're that, like, you know what? I can't even be mad at homegirl for that. So I just thought that was so funny. So that happened too. That was just like, that was hilarious. I still can't stop laughing about it. So that's like a funny story. I just had to share with you. Sorry that wasn't answering a question, but it occurred to me when I thought about the other thing. Last question though that I kind of wanted to answer that's kind of been in the comment section is that, oh, I know why I thought of the story. I thought of telling you that story because of hypervigilance, and I was just like, the girl spraying herself to me was like a level of hypervigilance. Okay, back to, sorry, went backwards, not forward. Last kind of question comment I've seen in the comments and wanted to address was about the fact that someone was saying, you know, they don't have any place to dress up and like wear these like fancy festive clothes. Let me be clear, honey. Let me be clear, darling. I am an incredibly shy person. I am incredibly shy. I have been shy my whole entire life. I am legit, like, kind of always like, whoo, it's like too many people. With that said, this year has been a ridiculously social year for me, which I've been, you know, I think I've been joking basically throughout the year and throughout videos about, oh, I'm exhausted, I have to go someplace, oh, I'm exhausted. But I actually think that in many ways that's been like a blessing because the year has been very difficult, and also, you know, with the breakup and like the chaos of the breakup, and which I didn't even like tell you half the chaos of the breakup, right? Like, because some things just don't need to be said. But, you know, with every single thing, it's been good to have so many people in reality, like, around me and taking, to a certain degree, like, keeping me busy, taking care of me and whatever else, right? So I don't feel just down in the constant dumps. Because of that, I've had a lot of chances to dress up, but normally I don't have a lot of stuff like that. So as a result, what I do is I give myself places to go. I give myself stuff to do. Like, you can, like, fundamentally, I just believe, like, particularly because I am a shyer person, I feel very comfortable going to places alone. I can do that, but I also think that's really something that you can do for yourself. Like, when you are in this moment, like right now, like for example, like I'm probably going to go to Peninsula one day this week because Peninsula is super decorated for Christmas and I like really want to see that. With that being said, all I'm trying to say is get dressed up and take yourself to dinner. Get dressed up and take yourself to a really nice fancy hotel that's really pretty decorated for Christmas and have a drink. And read a book. And have a drink, and put on your cute little dress and have a drink. I mean, or have a dinner by yourself, like, and not at the bar. Like, take up a dag-nabbit table and sit there and enjoy your little dinner, and don't be on your phone the whole time. Like, just be in your vibe, be in your element. I know that might sound crazy, but you don't have to wait to have some place to go to wear your fun outfits. Make your special moment, even in this season where things might be hard. Make your special moment. And if things aren't difficult for you right now in this season, like your job isn't driving you crazy, you don't have people acting crazy on you, good for you. That is a blessing. Put on your sequin dress still though and go have yourself, you know, a nice dinner or a drink. Just do that for yourself. Dress up for yourself. I just think that that's a great thing, and we can do it for ourselves, and we don't need anybody else to do it for us. So just go do it. just go do it. Just go do it. With that said, I have a lot that is happening this week. So many things. So parties and people to see and things to do. So, you know, wish me luck in being outgoing and social for like 5 straight days in a row. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to go like do something for my neck 'cause it hurts. So you remember how I said that I had that Christmas party to go to? It was on the other end of town and I had to get to it. Well, it actually wasn't on the other end of town. It was actually about 15 minutes from where I was. So I literally crossed Paris 30 minutes and had to cross it back another 30 minutes. I was an hour late to the party. But I'm finishing up my last Christmas party right now, and I'm on my way home. But the best part about Paris right now is all the Christmas lights are up. So before we go home, maybe we can enjoy a little Christmas lights? What has probably been the greatest thing to happen to me all year, my landlord is finally fixing my bathroom. The guys are here in the apartment right now, and they're fixing the bathroom, you all. And I can't even... Yeah, oui? C'est bon?
Qu'est-ce que vous pensez? Je dois ouvrir toutes les fenêtres pour un peu de temps, non?
Acrylique.
Oh, c'est acrylique.
Descends.
Uh-huh.
Non, il n'y a rien. Moi, c'est pas glycéro. Elle reste 3-4 jours.
Ok, d'accord. C'est ça.
Ça, ça y est, c'est fini.
Ok.
C'est pour quelque chose, pour l'humidité, pour quelque chose comme ça, on a fait l'extérieur.
Ok.
C'est là. Aujourd'hui, douche, non.
Ok. Ok.
Demain matin.
Ok, d'accord.
Okay.
Merci beaucoup.
Avec plaisir.
Merci, bonne soirée. Au revoir.
You guys, it's finished. Let me show you. So, literally, I don't know if you heard it. I was speaking French to him, but my bathroom was covered in mold. Like, a huge mold thing happened in the bathroom. And the landlord, such a jerk, like wouldn't do anything about it. And so I finally had to go to the Marie. I went to the Conseil de Justice. I did everything. I like presented a full legal case in French. This is why people say I don't speak French, but if I can argue a legal case in French, I can speak French. And look at my bathroom again, it's white. There's no more mold everywhere. Oh my gosh. Il est gentil. It also doesn't look like bathroom paint, but it is what it is. So Paris is Parising. It is gotten a really warm, oddly, and yet I've now developed a sore throat. My very first Christmas card has arrived from the US, which is really funny because normally there's basically a 50-50 chance that any mail someone sends me from the US will actually arrive. A lot of times cards, letters, I literally never ever see them. They just get sent back. Fortunately, this Christmas card did arrive. I'm sure the rest will show up sometime before February or March. But anyway, I am home. I'm drinking this emergency tea because I don't want to get sick. And I'm enjoying my Christmas tree and my house and just relaxing. I was thinking about whether or not to go home. I ultimately decided not to. I do love my parents. I do value them, and they're not bad people by any means, but I get the most support from them when my life is perfectly fine, when I look perfectly fine on the outside and when I act perfectly fine on the outside, and that's when I get the most support and love from them. And that's just, that's the truth. And so when things aren't perfect, that's just not a time to be around. And when I say when things aren't perfect, I mean when I cannot project the image that things are perfect. And I haven't really been able to project the image that things are perfect this year because so many balls have been like up in the air. But, so I don't think it's good for me to go home and see them this year. I'll see them for my brother's wedding, and hopefully by then I can project the image that everything is perfect. Because, good news, I found someone who's going to be able to help me with a large chunk of the business. So if things go right, the business should be up and fully running. The fashion line should be up and running by the end of January, beginning of February. So cross the fingers there, which would be perfect birthday present. So let's hope for that. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have a wonderful week. I feel free to leave any thoughts, questions in the comments, and I will make sure I answer them before the year is out, because we're only gonna have like a couple more videos. And then it's gonna be out, and then we're gonna be done. We're gonna be done with 2025 and on to 2026. Stay hopeful, my loves. Do not let all of this stuff, all of this season, all of whatever it is get you down. Find your light. Find your sparkle. Get dressed up. And listen to some jazz music somewhere. And sing Christmas carols, because honestly, everyone who doesn't like a, Last Christmas wham. Alright, I'll talk to you later. Bye.